What is up, everybody in the slash all community? This is Brett coming at you guys with the midweek podcast. I'm here with Brendan and Red here. We got a lot of things to talk about since we missed last week. So, you guys gonna say hi? How are you guys feeling today?
Great.
I'm feeling good, ready to go.
so much to talk about. We'll go back all the way. My apologies, I had an emergency last week, but 2 weeks ago we had our big mid-season pause for Trial of Champions, where the two leagues came together. Didn't pull it out in the 1v1 tournament. I think Sinja, also known as Impulse, was our highest up there, third place in the 1v1 tournament. So big shout out there.
Also,
Runner up, okay.
also the
Yes.
individual 1v1 tournament. Grumbog, I think, is the IGN picked up first place, defeated Sinja. So Sinja actually went as our number 2 seed. Um, so that was a shout out for to be the slash all 1v1 champion. Outside of just the Ring of Champions event as well.
Yeah, but don't worry. We might have dropped the ball when it came to individual talent, but we sent Misery and Infernia both to Trial Champions, the 5v5. And Misery showed up, they played well, and Infernia brought home the trophy.
We Love Miners went as well, or Miners, sorry. Miners went as well as our lower division representative. And then I think a Goon Squad team went. So we had actually 4 teams. I'm not sure how the other 3 teams did outside of Infernia, but yeah, like you said, Infernia was going against no matter what an AKG representative, and took them down in a best of 3 series, in a 3-game series actually, to take that.
Yeah, really happy with their performance. They showed up to represent the whole org. No matter what, was the team that knocked out Misery, our second seed. So they kind of bullied them out. Sent all the way to game three. Um, Mishek, uh, what's the mid laner's name?
Kishmak?
Kishmak. Kishmak got the Yone pick, showed up, absolutely dominated it. Was pushed all the way to game three. Smokestacks showed up, had an awesome Gwen game also. They pulled out their tanks in the mid lane. There was a Mord mid at one point. Really exciting match to watch for anybody who tuned in. If you didn't, don't worry. Infernia brought the trophy home. So we are the um, superior league according to Trial of Champions. So a lot of fun there. Um, Moving past that, that was our midweek pause. Came back to it to a bit of drama among the teams. Brendan, you want to go over what's happened with the two teams dropping out and what that means for all the teams moving forward?
Yeah, so that's in regards to the upper division. So we had Goon Squad Blue due to scheduling issues, and then Ward Seekers due to just not the ability to hit the solo duo ranked game requirement. Both of those teams, Ward Seekers and Goon Squad Blue, dropped out of the competition. So with an 8-team upper division and a 6-team playoff format, that completed our 6 teams that are going to end up making it into the playoffs. So I have on the screen right now the standings as they are today. We only have one match left to be played, and that's going to be Inferno Wolf Esports versus Goon Squad White. So the standings aren't quite set in place. If you look, 1, 2, 5, and 6 are locked in. However, depending on the outcome of the Goon Squad White Inferno Wolf Esports series, there could be a shakeup in the 3 and 4 seed spots. So both of those teams, the bye teams are locked in first and second. So Misery and Infernia locking down first and second seed. Goon Squad White and TLC locking down the lower 2 seeds. And then if I go over here to my, I don't know if we want to talk about the playoff format yet, but this is kind of what the playoffs are going to look like. So I'll throw a brief screen up there. I'm kind of going off kiltered here, as this is going to be
I
our.
like you can tease it. We'll talk about it later, but maybe flash up on screen, get some people thinking. But I mean, this is a good time I think to transition a little bit, talking about how some of the teams dropped for upper division. Red, what is going on with lower division? What's the momentum or movement you have going on there? I know a team dropped, one team kind of reformed.
Yeah, so Iniquity, their full roster decided to drop after a little bit of dispute they had with another team. And another team formerly known as BEA is now known as Blooming Lotus. Their original roster is all gone. They brought in a whole new roster just this past week. So we haven't I haven't seen them play yet, but I think they went down this past week with their new roster. But it is, it's a new team. I don't know if they played together before. I'm excited to see them play in the future as well. And just looking at the matches, there were a lot of just 2-0s in like the past 2 weeks in lower division. Games have in the first 2 weeks, each week had two games that went to three, or sorry, had two matches that went to 3 games in the first 2 weeks, and then in the third week it was just 2-0s all across the board. And we've only had one 3-game match in week 4, so it seems like teams are winning their first. If you win the first game, you're probably going to win the whole series at this point.
Yeah, there's a couple of teams that have kind of been hitting their like mid-season stride, kind of the same way we had in upper division with Infernia. It felt like they were unstoppable in the middle of the season. Really excited to see my boys there, Captain Turtle Privates, showing up, getting some wins in there.
Yeah, and then that's mainly what's been going on. There's been a few other roster changes. Teams have just added a player, dropped a player here and there. But yeah, what I'm really excited for is this week we are having two 4-0 teams facing off. We have Dino Roars versus the Miners. Now Dino Roars is 8-0. They haven't dropped a game yet.
They
And
haven't
Wheeler
dropped
Miners,
one?
not one yet.
Not. This is the first undefeated team, right? For Slash All?
I think at this point, yes. They haven't, yeah, not even a single game. It's just crazy how well they've been performing so far. But yeah, I think was that this Friday?
Yes.
Brendan, do you know for sure? Yeah, this Friday. We should be able to stream this game as well, so that will be super exciting. Hopefully, you all can see it. This could determine who gets, who can get the first round bye. Even though we're like halfway through, this is gonna be the week that pushes over halfway through the season.
Yeah, and something to highlight with kind of just like to emphasize it. It's not like Dino Wars is just undefeated. They haven't lost a game. The matches they have been winning have been 2-0s.
Yeah, for sure. Like Red was saying, we should be able to stream that game Friday. We have people set up. We have quite a bit of people that can be available on Friday because we have the 2 matches going. That's also win our last upper division match that could determine the third or fourth. It is going to determine who's the third and fourth seed. So we have both those matches going at the same time. So stay tuned on how we are going to handle that. I don't know. We'll probably try to use 2 channels, but we'll definitely see how that goes. Take it away, Brett.
I mean, that's the big spotlight for lower division is going to be that matchup of the top 2 teams, Dino Roars and We Love Miners. Talk a lot about Dino Roars because with that kind of stat line, you deserve to be hyped up. But tell us about We Love Miners. Have you gotten a chance to tune into any of their games?
Yeah, We Love Miners, actually, Grumbog, which is his Discord name, he was our 1v1 champion for We Love Miners on the server, so aka Lava Man 675. Yeah, their whole team, at least individually, they were playing well. I think another member was also in the 1v1 tournament, but they represented AKG, other member of the team.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I haven't seen a
Yeah.
game in a while from their team, but individually, they seem to be doing well for themselves. So
That is the top laner for We Love Miners, right?
yeah, for the Miners, that's the top laner.
And so that will be a game to tune into on Friday. We'll see if Lava Man can take down Dino Roars, even if it's just one game. Knock them off that high roars. It'll be a bit of an underdog story. So that's everything going on with our lower division teams. To kind of get us back on track now. So we've talked about the movement between both upper division teams and lower division teams. Lower division will continue going on. They've got 3 more weeks of regular season play.
Well, this is gonna be week 5. So after this week, there'll still be 4 more.
Or more. Let's do some quick power rankings for the lower division before we talk about the biggest highlight of today. Upper division is going to be starting playoffs next week.
Oh, power
Kinda-
rankings. Yeah, let's do it. We
yeah,
should do
like,
power
like
rankings for upper division as
another
well.
hint, another tease for the big picture playoffs for upper divisions upcoming. But let's do some power rankings for lower division first. Give them the attention they deserve.
Yeah, with that being said, I'm going to throw up. There's the actual regular season standings. So, like you were saying, with the team. So, I guess I'm going to let you lead this one off, Red. So, actually, I will have a little bit more insight to this as GSP is probably going to be scrimming TSI. So, I'm going to have a little bit of insight into the skill level of that. I guess that's one roster change that wasn't mentioned. It's Gecko from the upper division qualifies for the lower division rank cap, so he's actually moving down to the Goon Squad Purple team to take the spot of Yo Face Off. So he's going to be playing for that team as well as I think he's also going to be the team captain if I'm not mistaken. So that is one major kind of roster move.
Yeah. So I mean, at the very top, I will keep the rankings exactly the same. 1-2, Dino Roars, top team. We are Miners, the second team. Both obviously haven't lost a match yet. Yeah, and I've just seen the players, great players. Event Horizon Invicta, I think I'd also still keep them in the 3 spot. I haven't had a game in a while, but I know they beat us week 1.
Yeah.
Us being the Captain Turtles privates, for anyone wondering. But yeah, I'm keeping them in the 3 spot. This is gonna be. I'm gonna put Captain Turtles privates in the 4th slot. We added a new member to our team as well. It's season 1 jungler for TSI, and I feel like he's been on a few other teams this season.
Oh, Godwick? Godwick?
Yeah, Godwick.
The Warwick one-trick legend.
Yes. Adding him to the roster. So I'm going to put us up at the 4 slot, and then I'll just move Catalyst down to right below us. I don't think we've played them yet. So I haven't really played them, so I can't say necessarily, this is just power rankings. I know Chemtrails Privates, we've just came off 2 wins in a row, so gaining a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, you have back-to-back wins.
Yeah, and then I'm going to put up, I'm actually going to put Goon Squad Purple up next because they actually added another member as well. They added Rylex Vex to their roster. And so I'm thinking with the new players coming from upper division or just playing with like the other players before, I think they're going to do better. Put them up to the number 6 spot. Then I'll just swap down Blooming Lotus right below. They have a whole new roster. They just got in here. I think, I don't know if they've played together, as I said before, but I'll keep them at the 7 spot because they're going 500, but 2 wins under the belt. No wins under this new roster yet, so it's a little scary, but nothing that 5 more weeks of play can't help them out with.
I'm agreeing here a little bit with your just movement across the map. I personally, I think I put Captain Turtle Privates on number 4. For me too. I just love the way you guys kind of play so well together. There's a lot of team chemistry within that team. And then for me, I actually Goon Squad Purple, moving up to my 7 spot, all the way. Agreed. And I have Blooming Lotus underneath them, because well, both of those teams have added new rosters. They've added Gecko. I think he's a really good shot caller and player for their team. But coming from somebody who completely rearranged the team mid-season and lost every match up until this week, you just have time to build up that team chemistry. So just please prove me wrong, Blooming Lotus. Prove me wrong.
And then we'll get to the end here. Well, Iniquity actually is not ranked 9. They're actually ranked 10. They won't be playing. Won't be playing anymore.
Let's go.
But yeah, I'll
That
keep the
means,
bottom two the same.
Means TSI Academy moves up to 9. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have TSI
trending up.
Academy at 8, just because of the organization, you know, the brand name TSI. I think you guys have a coach for TSI too, don't you, for lower division?
We do not. But
Oh.
that being said, if you look at the upper division standings, the upper division TSI team started the season out 0-3, as well, and we are competing for the 3rd seed right now. So don't put it past the TSI team to make a late season run for sure.
Yeah, and then for my standings, I do, instead of the Event Horizon Victa, who I knocked all the way down to 6th, I have Katos Gladiators instead up in that 3rd place spot. Creative drafts go so far, and that's what we see come out of this team. It's kind of like what I want to see from the lower division. These kind of can be kind of straightforward champions, not as popular in upper division, get played here, kind of like, you know, the niche one trick player. Katos Gladiators comes out and play really creative drafts, so I have them locked in at 3rd for me.
Okay. Good.
Okay, so I'm asking viewers for questions, of course, to sneak in here. So you guys are halfway through. I mean, you have 9 games, so there's no technical halfway. I guess we're kind of halfway through week 4, so maybe this could justify as halfway through. Who, as the commissioner for the lower division, who's your early lower division MVP pick?
Ooh, that is hard to pick an MVP already. I think mainly because of the 1v1 tournament, I'm gonna put Lavaman675/Grumbog/Greg or whatever he wants to be known as.
I like
as
it.
My front runner for MVP.
I like it. Yeah, definitely showing individual prowess when you can win the 1v, not only win the 1v1 tournament, but if you recall, that was a mixed 1v1 tournament that had both the upper and lower division combined. So he not only showed he's the best lower division 1v1 player, and you can correlate to that to mechanical skill all you want. It's probably a good telltale, but he's also showed, I think actually it was, so we did best of 3, and he defeated Sinja, who prides himself on his mechanical 1v1 prowess. He beat Sinja. I don't even think Sinja hit level 2 in that 1v1, if I remember correctly, in the 3rd match of that. So take that as you will, but for sure. And then on the flip side, so we're going to do upper and maybe this could be a segue.
I mean, whoa! Can I speak up? Can I have input on this?
Yeah, go for it.
Dude, Caleb in the top lane for Dino Roars. That's my guy. He plays a bit of like carry top laners. He plays like the Aatrox, plays the Mundo, carry top laners. You don't see a lot of that in lower division. So for Dino Wars to be doing as well as they are, that's my early MVP prediction.
So you create a nice storyline here because they're going to be facing off this week, and they both play top lane. So looking forward to that matchup to see which one of your early lower division MVP picks can carry their team to a victory and edge out the other team.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I just
Yeah.
really like the guy's play style.
You set up a nice storyline, so I like that. Definitely, that's definitely something to watch.
All right, you were now continue. You were that moving
Well,
on to next
I'll
thing.
segue over. We're gonna do some. We're doing power rankings, so let's do our upper division power rankings as we head. This is big because we're heading into playoffs. We obviously have almost all of our seeding set, but as far as power rankings go, I'll start it off with Misery as the number 1 seed. They haven't lost a game in. I'm gonna flip over the schedule real fast. The only game they dropped was week 2 when they played Infernia Esports. They're both newer to the league. So since then, they've won 6 straight matches. I think Infernia was their first match in the league. They lost their own one, and since then they've been on a 6-game win streak. So they're my clear-cut number 1 seed. Number 2 seed though is hard. I'm gonna be humble and give it probably to Infernal Wolf Esports because they did beat TSI in the head-to-head matchup. But that does put me at number 3. I'm going to be a little bit cocky here, put TSI here because we were able to take down Infernia. So a big storyline right now. Infernia does lock in the 2nd seed, the first round bye, but they were undefeated up until the past 2 weeks, and they've dropped 2 weeks in a row, including just last night they lost a game to Kench's Line Chefs, who is in the standings at the bottom. So I'm going to put TSI there, and then I'm going to put Infernia, and then I'm going to put probably Kench's Line Chefs because they were able to take down Infernia, and then Goon Squad White, especially with a lot of the roster turnover that they have going on. This isn't the time of the season that you want to see a lot of changes. You're trying to get cohesiveness, and that can be a real divider in that. So I think that's going to be my top 6 power rankings heading into playoffs.
It's hard because I can't be biased as much as I want to. We'll spice it up a little bit. I'll put my own team, up there in 4th place. Who was your third?
TSI.
TSI. I think TSI is definitely third for me. Goon Squad White, I really fear for. We'll see how strong that team is with the 2 Goon Squads combining. But for now, all the Goon Squads have really, really struggled to find cohesion in the upper division. Infernal Wolf Esports, though, a really scary team. Sinja talked about him playing enough, leading the front line, but who's the jungler for that team? What's the
King
IGN?
Kablai.
King Kablai, really, really big champion pool for that guy. Playing both tank junglers, like the Maokai being really, really strong pocket pick for him, but also will go to the other side of it and play early game snowball champions like the Lee Sin. Can play both those playstyles masterfully well. Like he is a master at both of those. So for Infernal Wolf Esports, in my rankings at number 4. Keep an eye on that jungle role.
Yeah, cool. So that's our upper division power rankings. Give me your a sneak peek to potentially. I don't know. Do we want to do MVP predictions because we're kind of giving it away in a little bit? So basically, how we do MVP voting here in /all, which I can use this as a shout out platform. So each team will be able to nominate one player from their team as the MVP, as their MVP nomination. So those 6 players will go and be sent out to all the team captains. So the team captains will be responsible for representing their team. So you think the teams will discuss, and then each team captain gets a vote towards the MVP. You cannot vote for your own player, obviously. And then all the moderators and the production crew will also get a vote. Anyone who feels like they have followed enough along with the season to have an impactful vote, and obviously we'll filter those out. So, and that's going to be how they determine that. So I don't really want to give a lot of our moderators points to see who they want the MVP to be because that could potentially be the 3 of our votes. And so I don't want to do an upper division MVP prediction because that could give some stuff away. But my second shout out, as I'm saying a lot of words, all pro voting. So once we finish our game on Friday, that's going to be all of the upper division games complete. I'm going to compile all the stats for the first season for the upper division at that point, and then I'm going to send out ballots to each of the teams. You're going to receive a ballot that has the players for each team that played the most in the role. So if you had two people play your mid lane role. Whoever played the majority of the games is going to be on those ballots. You're going to get a first team and second team vote for those, and you also can't vote for the people on your team. So definitely be looking out for those. Once we finalize the stats with the last game being played, I'll get all those out. So keep that in mind.
And then that's going to all players, correct?
All upper division players, yes. Each player gets
All-
their own
yep.
vote. Yep.
So not just team captains, all upper division players. Please keep an eye out for that.
Oh, and that will also, whoever is the highest vote getter in the All Pro will also be counted as a vote for MVP. So that's how the majority of the players get their input into the vote. So whoever's the highest vote getter. And then also to look forward, we have the All Pro game. We had that last season, went really well. So before the finals, we'll have an All Pro game. The way that works is the first and second team will all be those 10 players. The top two vote getters will be the team captains, and they'll draft the teams from there. And we'll have a nice little show match around the week of the finals.
Yeah, we're coming for upper division, coming towards the end of it. Like you said, shout out even the lowest team in the standings snagged the win right there at the end. So we're heading the strive. And you can go ahead and show us that final scene. Let's see our playoffs bracket and talk about it.
For sure. So this is, let me get it the best I can get it to look. Modify it on the fly. So this is what it looks like. So if you picture in, think about the last, our first two teams are going to get the bye. So Misery is going to be in the 1 seed. And then Infernia is going to be in the number 2 seed. They get the first round bye. This 3-4 is what is in contention. So it's hard to even like predict these matchups because so much can change depending on the results of Friday's game. So kind of the way that goes is if Goon Squad White wins the series, that moves TSI into the 3 seed and Inferno Wolf into the 4th seed. If Inferno Wolves wins the series, they go to the 3rd seed, TSI goes to the 4th seed. So that's kind of the flip-flop that can happen.
Either way, I think we're at the point that all teams have a chance to make a big run here. But shout out to Misery and Infernia for playing so well during the regular season. They earned this first round bye. So to win the entire thing, those two teams just have to win 3 matches. Or 2 matches.
Yep, and these will be best of 5s as well.
And I think that's the biggest thing we'll see change here when we get to playoffs is champion pools will have to go deep. We've seen some games where people are just play the same champion game 1, win, play the same champion game 2, win. That happens in the best of 5. They just ban it in game 3. So your champion pools are going to have to go deep here as we hit the ground running.
Yeah, let me check back over here for any more questions. Season 1 MVP versus a Season 2 MVPs. I have a genuine question. I have played 3 separate roles so far in the lower division. Is it technically possible for me to get it for 2 different roles? No, you will only be eligible for 1 role. So I'll take the majority, whichever is your most played role will be the one that you are eligible to receive votes for. As I run through all these questions, what's my opinion on the priority of Syndra bans so far? I hate Syndra bans.
I have one.
Okay.
I could talk for hours. So I'll hit you guys with 2. Are either of you guys like competitive watchers?
Yeah.
No.
Who's winning Worlds?
I think Gen G might finally all put it together. I mean, so many times they come in as the favorites, as well as JDG. So I think mine probably goes to Gen G. I like Gen G better.
Yeah, I do. I think NA comes out above in the EU NA matchup this year. Golden Guardian's gonna pull that one out. But then I have to die on my hill of saying SKT, just for the kicks and giggles.
I will say, as fun as World sounds, the match I'm most excited for is the EU versus NA qualifier match.
For sure. That's question number 1. Question number 2. Since Worlds is out, what we're playing on right now is the World's Patch. So, who do you think is the strongest champion in the game right now? In the meta?
Oh, I don't want to say.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I don't want to leak what I
Oh,
think.
you'll get banned. You'll get
Yeah.
banned against you. Oh,
Yeah. There's a few interesting things in my mind that I don't want to talk about.
I now I feel that way. I'll put my cards on the table. I think Braum is easy blind pickable. I think Ash is still really good in the game right now. I think we see some Briar gameplay that Champions busted. I'm surprised we haven't. I think we saw one game of it in this league. But I think we could start seeing some more Briar gameplay.
Okay, another thing that I was thinking about, and I think it's been mentioned before. I think the teams would be down for it. We'd have to delay it a little bit because lower division's a little bit lagging behind the upper division because they have more teams. A season 2 upper division champion versus the season 2 lower division champion match. Maybe a best of 3 series between those two teams. I think that'd be pretty hype.
That's a banger idea.
Also, a little sneak peek. I'm so excited about this. During the off season, this server is still going to be active. We're obviously not planning to start the third season until after the holiday, just so people don't have to deal with that. Um, but I have an in-house bot. I don't know if you guys have seen it in other servers that I'm going to implement, and it keeps track. It sets up in-house games, custom games, and assigns roles, captains, all those types of things, and then it keeps track of how many times you've won, so it keeps your winning percentage as well. I'm definitely implementing that so that we can get a lot of fun in-houses going once the league commences.
That's a great idea, just to make in-house games that kind of actually matter.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently, your opinion is the opinion that everybody else had. I asked for strongest champion, and chat didn't show up for me either. So I'll be content to just say Brahm's the best champion in the game.
Yeah, he's great.
I'll say it's I'll say it's Poppy.
Oh, yes, it
Poppy
is.
support, absolutely disgusting.
Oh, I mean, even no, because like you say, Poppy support. I think Poppy jungle is still so sleeper pick. Take Hexaflash. You have such strong angles to gank lanes with just a Hexaflash from a shrub, push something into a wall. Here, you guys have been asking for jungle in chat this whole time. There you go. Pick up Poppy jungle.
Yeah, I also see Jordan NC calling out Nunu as best champ, Narva calling out Kindred as best champ, Jonakis, of course, calling out Syndra. I totally agree with that. Yeah, I'll go out on a limb and say Syndra's the best champion in the game. Riven, I saw Riven as well, best champ. As they...
Yep, Kindred. I like the Kindred one. Agree there a little bit. Agree. Kindred really high like skill cap, so you don't see it very often. But a good Kindred will like flip a game on its head.
All right, I think that wraps up kind of the viewer questions.
I think that wraps it up. Yeah. Any closing thoughts, Red, for episode 6?
Closing thoughts. I would have to say that. Wait, can you come back to me?
Yeah, Brendan, closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. I mean, I'm just excited. Of course, I'm keeping my personal predictions out of it because I've got some competitive league coming up here with the upper division playoffs starting. So extremely hyped for that. We're still looking. These are going to be long series. So if anybody wants to help out with casting, definitely reach out to me. We have a casting application channel on the server. So if anybody feels like they want to give that a shot, like I said, these could be potentially very long series. So always going to shout out. We could use more help in the production crew. So,
and that's where the most fun is.
It is a lot of fun, I will say, to cast these games. I think that's all my final thoughts.
I just always like to say thank you to everybody who's participating, playing. You know, it's kind of like I think growing up, I played a lot of pickup basketball, It's not fun when you show up to pick up basketball and there's 4 or 6 of you. Like it takes 10 to 12 people showing up. So every single one of the players have showed up regularly once a week to play. Like that makes this competitive, that makes this fun, and I just appreciate all of you guys' putting in your time and effort.
All right. The last thing I want to say is I think you're talking about the upper division winner versus the lower division winner.
Yes.
What about the upper division all stars versus the lower division all stars
Okay.
in a pickup match?
I could get behind that as well. That's definitely. I mean, we have plenty of time, so we will implement those for sure. So, but mark those on the schedule. Those will both happen. We'll do the champ match, and then we'll also do the all pro match for sure.
I like that one a bit more because it just brings like all the personalities together. It's like the little renegades banding together to take down upper division.
I mean, I think upper division is 0-1 in that, with Lava Man taking the 1v1 champion.
Yeah, they've done it. They'll do it again.
Close this out, Brett.
Close it out. I mean,
Oh, unless
like,
you're not ready to close it out.
I mean, contextually, one of my favorite content creators are Ludwig, and he just always closes his videos by going, "Okay, that's it, bye," and that's the end of the video. And I think a period at the end of a sentence is just a dot. Goodbye, guys. Good night. Good luck this week in your games. Bye, bye, guys.